And a pleasant good evening to all of you joining us tonight for the last match of the first day of the 4-Digit World Cup 2020 semifinals. It is the winners bracket quarterfinal, United States versus South Korea. And it is a late night adventure for all of us. It is 12:30 a.m. for me here. I'm sure it is not much better for any of you guys, but we're playing some Osu now because that is what we do in times such as these. We simply play extremely late. We get United States and South Korea in a winners bracket quarterfinal that I think should be pretty good despite the fact that it's at a ludicrous time. So hoping for the best here out of this one after some matches that were okay, but maybe a little disappointing at times. We're going to try to get the tournament client working so we can get into the warm-ups. We'll talk about the teams and the matchups. I am extremely tired, so I'm going to do the best I can. But, you know, after however many hours it's been of this Osu stuff today, I'm not really sure anymore how many it's been. I know I've been up for only about like 14 hours or no, 15 hours, so nothing super crazy, but it's been a lot of matches. A long day. It is at long last time to get into our last match before all of us in the American time zones or near to it get to go to bed. I'm sure the players probably feel the same way. A little bit sus reschedule. South Korea saying they needed to play later because the time they were scheduled for originally would have resulted in sunlight shining on their monitors and making it impossible to play. No, I am not joking. But first, we've got to get that nice glitch where we try to open the tournament client again because it crashed and it just decides not to show the MP lobby. So we're going to be hanging out, listening to some music for a bit while they're getting into the first warm-up already, which is a really good song. They're playing Yoru no Kakeru. I wish I could be seeing it right now, but Peppy said no. What if you wanted to spectate tournament client matches and the Osu tournament client said no? Well, that would be what's happening right now. Instead, we'll talk about the teams. We got United States, the #1 seed through the qualifiers. They'll be on the left-hand side of your screen once we get there. Captained by Miles, joined by Ches Bananas, Chillier paired leftovers, Leotic, Spev, Toki, and Vector. Some of the absolutely best-known players in the 4-digit tournament scene, all tournament beasts in their own right. These are guys who are really good at the Osu video game from the United States. They have lost one map in their first two matches, dropping a point to Ireland 6-1 in the round of 32, before defeating Czech Republic 6-0 in the round of 16. On the other side is going to be South Korea, captained by Enon, joined by a gang of mostly relative unknowns, including Suyang, Kor Kosaki, Kor Rem, Lancel, Lee Yoon Hyuk, Pain, and Quickly Die. And if anyone knows any of them, I'll be impressed because I've heard of, I think, literally 3 people of the 8 on that team. They have a little bit of a different run to the quarterfinal here. They faced off against Belgium, dropped a point to them in the round of 32, 6-1. Then they were taken all the way to a tiebreaker by Singapore. Won that one 6-5 in the round of 16 to set up this date with the United States in the quarterfinals. These two teams in very different forms. Holy cow, finally. Have, I believe, faced off in the past in this tournament. It was the losers bracket round 5 or 6. Losers bracket round 6 last year. At a similar time to this, actually, they played 4:15 UTC thereabouts. It was a back-to-back match. They played China and then they played South Korea back-to-back. And they won that one 7-1. That was a finals week matchup, so it was a best of 13. So A little bit of a different setting, and the teams were completely different. There are almost no players actually in common. Oh, for God's sake. There we go. There were almost no players in common between that match and this one, actually. I believe that United States team had Ches Bananas in common with this year, and that's it. South Korea had Korem, and that is it. So despite the fact that those two matches are only a year apart, there are 2 players in common between last year's matchup and this year's. So always interesting to see when these teams get very different rosters between 2 years. Yeah, it is a USOB warm up here. I'm very sad we missed almost all of it because of the tournament client being absolute dog shit. It's been around for what, like 6 years now, and it still is just garbage, so that's really cool. Making me miss out on one of my favorite songs. Very happy to see that this got moved into a full spread map set to go for rank. I swear to God, Miles, if you do it, I swear to God, I know you can hear me, Miles. If you do it, I'm coming to your house. If you do it, I'm coming to your house and beating you with a tennis racket. It's just gonna happen. Okay, he didn't do it. Holy shit. Let's go, dude. Yeah, I think the kind of cool thing about 4WC, you know, with the kind of rank restricted ranges being a little more transient than the top rankings, you see more player changes year over year than you do in open rank. You know, like OWC, right? The United States had like 6 or 7 players in common in their teams that won in 2018, 2019. They're probably gonna have maybe 4 or 5 in common again this year, assuming that it's, you know, like Vaxe, Tony, Ariu, Fiery Rage, some of the, and maybe Apraxia, you know, play again this year. Meanwhile, in 4WC, like, you take a roster of 8 players from the United States, you bring back 1 of them. You take a roster of 8 players from South Korea that made the finals losers bracket week, like when I said losers bracket around 7 or whatever it was, and you bring back 1 of them. It's really cool to see a lot of new players getting their chance to prove their stuff on a big stage, such as 4WC. Similar things sort of happened in 3-Digit World Cup as well, where there were some new players on the USA team, like Exarch, like Blaze this year, Wowie this year as well. So it's kind of switching things up in these lower rank range tournaments. So despite them being, it's the same country, and it's kind of a similar player pool, but it's a lot of very different players on the actual rosters, while others get to go on to maybe bigger and better things. You know, Digital Hypno and Exarch, of course, ranking up out of the rank range from last year. Some of the South Korea players from last year really not playing much anymore. Obviously, City of Pacifica doesn't play much. Penerary is off in the army. 404 has moved on to pretty much just mapping. DDM has more or less quit W as well. So you do see some very big differences. You know, Lalzep has kind of moved on, is doing more IRL stuff. Same for Mook and Jensen, who are, you know, who were on the teams last year and are now more focused on, you know, real world pursuits, because a lot of people in the game are, you know, maybe high school, college students, or, you know, either getting into college and they're busy with that, or moving on past college, getting jobs and such. So it's really an interesting sort of scene in this kind of rank range that is a little bit unique compared to open rank, where some of the teams can be a little bit static sometimes and are often drawing from at least similar player pools going into their signups and tryouts than like the 3-digit and 4-digit teams. Of course, with this being a winner's bracket match, we have not seen either of these teams play anything on this pool, and I personally haven't seen South Korea play at all. Their first 2 matchups were against a European team and an Asian team, so they were at times that were really absurdly early, like 6-7 a.m. local time for me, So I have not had the privilege of seeing this roster compete at all. United States, of course, last week played on Sunday. I was stuck at work, so I didn't get to see that. I did get to see their match against Ireland, but unfortunately did miss out on the match against the Czech Republic. I mean, it wasn't close. It was a 6-0 blowout anyway. But always nice to kind of get a feel for how the teams are performing and what their strengths and weaknesses are. I think this United States team, it doesn't necessarily have quite the skill ceiling of last year's roster, because losing Digital Hypno and losing Exarch was really big, because those were probably the two of the 3 or 4 best players in the tournament last year. They were in on every map, and they were the main carries, especially in the later rounds when a lot of other players were getting outscaled. But this year, I think the team has a higher skill floor. Yeah, albeit, they do have that slightly lower skill ceiling. So I think it'll be fun to see how they do in later rounds. And really, they're going to try to show themselves, I think, as one of the most well-rounded rosters as well. You kind of have to be if you want to be competing to win the entire thing. I don't think you can really compete for the title in a tournament like this if you're not a relatively well-rounded team. But I think the United States makes a case. They've got players for everything. They've got a very strong aim roster, speed roster, breeding roster, whatever you throw at them. South Korea, meanwhile, to me is a little bit of an unknown. As I said, these are players that I am just simply not familiar with. I have never heard of the majority of that roster, which makes it a little bit trickier for me to try to make kind of guesses as to what they might pick and ban, and how they might perform on given maps. So this is going to be a learning experience here for me, and I'm not ashamed to say that, because I don't know that many people are super familiar with most of this roster. Obviously, they've got some throwback names, but a lot of the strong South Korean players, whether it's because of army or other reasons, tend to move on. South Korea is often very transient in terms of its player base, largely because of military. I think that obviously plays a big role in South Korean esports in general, as well as I think real sports, where you have to take 2 years off to go to military, and that just ruins careers, especially in esports, where players tend to trend very young on average. So, if you're 17, 18, 19, 20 years old, and then all of a sudden you hit, like 22, 23 or whatever, and you have to go off to military, well, you're still in a very good point in your career, and now you just have to quit for 2 years. And, that makes for a scene that develops young players, really, really motivated young players to perform incredibly well at young ages, and then they just are gone. And I feel like that happens in Osu, it happens in League, it happened in StarCraft. Probably still does happen in StarCraft, but obviously that scene is not what it used to be. So it's a very interesting sort of country to watch the development of, when you see often how young some of the players are as they're rising up through the ranks. With all that being said, we are through the warm-ups and we are going to get into the match proper. South Korea won the role, and they have chosen second ban and first pick, which means the United States will be commencing with the first ban of this match, and we'll get an idea, I think, as to what these teams kind of want to play, what they might want to avoid based on the pick ban. We saw last week, United States banning Hidden One Hard Rock 1, or excuse me, no, they banned Hidden One Nomad 2. So they banned, the consistency Nomad, or the consistency Hidden, they banned the stream Nomad. Meanwhile, Korea, last week banned Hidden One as well. A lot of teams banning that out. They also banned Hard Rock 3. That was a very popular ban last week for a lot of teams. It was a very hard, difficult pick. Here, United States is going to ban out the Air 10.3 beginnings. I personally don't think I've seen this map played once on stream. I believe every match that has been streamed, it has either been banned or just not picked. South Korea is going to run it back with the Hidden One first ban. So as Entelekia being banned out, that's been a popular ban in this round as well. Nobody likes the Hidden Ones this tournament, I guess. Last week it was Yorinaku, Sagiwa, blah, blah, blah. This week it's Entelekia. USA banning beginnings, as we said, the DT 10.3 pick. So we'll see if maybe United States is, opting into banning in the DT pool. Maybe they ban like DT2. Or we could see, we might see like a Hard Rock 1 ban from one of these teams. I could see South Korea banning Hard Rock 1. I think the United States would probably want to leave that up because they want to be able to rely on their skill cap for a map that is really the most difficult in the pool. And they are going to leave it up. They're going to ban second Hard Rock 3. That is Asian Distractive, Elsa's Extra Diff. It's the shortest Hard Rock pick, one of the shorter picks in the pool in general at only 1 minute and 51 seconds. But it does have some tricky aim and some tricky little 1/6 bursts as well. Not an easy map by any means. Definitely plenty of places that you can break. And finally, South Korea is going to last ban Nomad 2. That is Happy Summer Vacation, the stream map that a lot of people have had some trouble with. Some uncommon sort of note counts and rhythm choices on that one, leading to that being banned out. Interestingly, because like we said, that was I believe United States ban. Excuse me, last week. United States banned that out last week, but South Korea gonna ban it out here. Very different type of map this time. So I guess, you can't really directly compare this. So, ban recap, United States, beginnings, DT number 4, the 10.3. And Hard Rock 3, Small Circle, 1/6 bursts. South Korea banning Entelekia Hidden 1, and Happy Summer Vacation Nomad 2. And it is now their first pick, so we'll see what they want to do to get started in this matchup. Last couple times South Korea has faced the United States in these tournaments, it has not gone well, losing 7-1 in this tournament last year, losing 7-0, of course, in the OWC Grand Finals. So gonna see if they can make that a little different, at least get a couple of points off of the United States this time. I think, relatively speaking, this United States team maybe not quite as strong as the OWC roster or last year's 4WC roster, but still a very strong team that is going to be a tough one to contend with. South Korea, interestingly, going to start with Nomad 5 as their first pick. That is Think Alone by Riol, the Evolutionism difficulty map by DRandom Otaku. And this is a map that I've only really seen, I think, once on stream, and it is not the type of thing you would normally expect as a first pick. It has a couple of diff spikes, including a really big one at the end. A lot of sort of kick slider aim sections, couple little awkward 1/3 patterns, and then you hit the last diff spike and just all hell breaks loose. We saw a very interesting performance on that. I believe it was Italy versus Singapore earlier on today, I guess yesterday now, as I believe the one time it has been on stream, but it really has not been a super popular pick in general, despite being a banger. So this is going to bring in players who are comfy and confident with aim and with some awkward slider patterns. Enon saying, if I lose this match, it's USA's fault. Well, that's kind of how it works, actually. Yes, if you lose a match, it is the fault of your opponents. Oddly enough. So the United States does have Miles and Chillier pair currently in the lobby. South Korea looks set. They have Enon, Flancel, Korkosaki, and Korem. USA bringing in Chesbin as their third and awaiting their fourth. As we said, United States has a very strong, well-rounded roster, so they should have lineups for pretty much anything. And it'll just be a matter of selecting them. So we get the fourth player in. It is going to be leftovers, and I believe that's going to decide the roster's all 8 players in and should be getting ready soon. And on a side note, it is absolutely freaking pouring rain. So I'm hoping that nothing happens to my internet or my power or anything like that, because I'm in a very dark basement and it would be very scary. And for some reason, Leotic is now in the lobby. Okay, not really sure what's going on. All right, so I don't know. Leotic joined the lobby at some point. He is not playing in this map. The rosters are set. Miles, Ches, Chillier, Leftovers, Enon, Flancel, Kosaki, and Rem. Do I need to say the core parts of those names? I don't know. I don't know if they're really all that relevant. And I once again forgot to change my quality options before the match. Whoops. Somebody remind me tomorrow morning at like 9:15 a.m. Eastern that I need to fix the OBS settings. Thanks. You see a couple early breaks. These sliders are really easy to miss on. Miles and Enon trading at the very beginning in the intro here. Rest of the players holding through just fine. With these being two of the best teams in the tournament, I expect to see a little better performance on a majority of maps than we've seen in a lot of the other matches today. I think USA probably does have the highest skill floor out of any team in this tournament overall. But, you know, any given Sunday, right? And into the first Ki we're going to go. Just those traded early breaks from Miles and Enon so far, holding identical accuracy. United States with a little bit of an accolade thanks to Chillier Pair and Leftovers. But this one is very close until anybody actually breaks their combo for real, somewhere towards the middle of the map, maybe. And into the second little diff spike here with the slider aim and kick slider jumps. It's going to be Chillier Pair fighting the break for the United States. That is going to help out South Korea. They will get a lead into the next verse. Flancel, Rem, and Kosaki all holding on to the FCs. Enon with the big combo backing them up. Ches Leftovers with the FCs. Miles with the big combo behind them for the United States. But Chillier Pair now going to be pretty far behind. United States at this point basically going to have to rely on hope that South Korea breaks in the difficult part and loses enough score out of it while they hold on to make a comeback here, because South Korea will be able to take a pretty decent lead in this verse here. About 80,000 points. And into the next Ki we're going to go. Not really much to break on in this section, despite it being a little more musically intense. The rhythm stays fairly straightforward on these little 1/3 verse, maybe. And it's going to be Enon breaking on one of those 1/3s. It's so easy to just mistap those if you're not very careful. That being said, not the end of the world for South Korea. They do still have their 3 FCs while the United States only has 2. But it's combo advantage to the United States' side. And just the last about quarter of the map to come here to make a comeback possible here. 100,000 points, still the score gap. Oh, and Flancel finds a slider break. United States all holds on. This is what we just said that the United States needed going into this last difficult section. Enon, Chillier Pair, Ches Bananas all finding breaks. Flancel as well. Core Kosaki and Core Rem still holding their FCs. So it's going to be tough now. United States had the opportunity. They're going to kind of let it go to waste here. Kosaki and Rem holding the FCs. Leftovers and Miles holding combo through here, but it's just not going to matter. South Korea should be able to take this one now. 2 players holding FCs through that section while Ches and Chillier Pair both broke. The double core duo carrying this one home for South Korea. And that is a 100K victory for South Korea on their first pick of the match. Ches Bananas and Chillier Pair not able to hang in the most difficult part of the pick. Core Kosaki, Core Rem with the 2-way FC, Flancel with the S rank, just the 1 slider break. Leftovers with the FC for the United States. Best accuracy of anyone by a pretty sizable margin. Only player over 98%. Or one of only 2 players over 98%, excuse me. And Miles with the early slider break. could have been the difference maker there if Miles hadn't found the early slider break, actually. You know, he was at about, he would have been just under 99%. That would have been probably about 960K. May have been enough for the United States because the other two scores were actually better. No, they were not. Excuse me. Were actually worse. But it would have been very close. South Korea, though, doing enough for the victory on the first pick. Right, so, United States deciding on their own first pick of this match. The clock strikes 1 a.m. Eastern. And Hidden 3, the USA pick, as Mushikui Psychedelism, Heisei difficulty mapped by Nevo. Just over 3 minute long CS4 AR9. Relatively consistent difficulty hidden pick. Has a bit of a tricky stream that you're going to want to watch out for. After the second chorus, you get into kind of the bridge guitar solo thing. And other than that, I mean, it's not the hardest of aim, but everything gets a little more difficult with hidden when some of these patterns maybe a little difficult to read at times. Obviously nothing too insane, but there are places that you can miss, and we have seen that happen. We have Sooyoung and Quickly Die coming in for this map for South Korea, replacing Flancel and Enon. United States looking to hang on to the same roster as on the first map. Still have Miles, Ches, Chillier, and Leftovers in the lobby. I think that's kind of their core in the United States. Wow, it is really raining now. Holy cow, I can hear it. Miles, Chillier, two very consistently strong all-around players. Leftovers has proven himself very solid in recent months as well. Ches Bananas, a higher skill cap player still on this roster, I feel like, on his good days. You don't always know what you're going to get with Ches, though. Hopefully today is a strong day for him. Sooyoung and Quickly Die going to come in and be fun ones to commentate. Hopefully Quickly Die doesn't die quickly in this pick. And the early break from Miles. It's the sort of thing on this map, there's just stuff you break on, and it doesn't really hold to any logic or reason as to why. I never, like, half of the breaks that I see in this map just don't make sense a lot of the time. People just miss notes that, like, it doesn't feel like they should. It's like brain lag, I guess. Quickly Die with, oh my, he chain missed that entire pattern. That was interesting. Chillier pair though breaking right after it, but that was a very damaging set of misses for Quickly Die. He lost a lot of score from that. Core Rem with another break, as well as Ches Bananas, so it is just Leftovers with an FC for the United States, Core Kosaki and Sooyoung with the FCs for South Korea. Miles holding a good combo though, and with the amount of score that Quickly Die and Core Rem have lost from those breaks in that section, the United States actually going to take a lead. It will not grow all that fast, if at all, but boy, that was a rough one for Mr. Quickly Die. We'll see how the United States does trying to hold on to this advantage into the next Ki. And another break from Miles. That looked like a slider break from him. That'll be advantage South Korea here. No, it was not a slider break. It was a Bancho break, so he is doing fine. Looks like breaks from Sooyoung and Korem. Of course, you can never be certain these days with the way the tournament client works, but those may have been real misses. Miles at 99.83. Leftover still holding the SS. Absolutely ludicrous. Chillier pair at 99.46. The United States has a pretty monstrous accuracy on this play. There goes Chillier on the hidden stream, but Korem matching that break. Leftovers following right up. Okay, this gets interesting now. Okay, this gets really interesting now. Who did not miss? Sooyoung and Korkosaki breaking at the end of that section. As I said, you gotta watch out for that guitar solo. Those streams with hidden are rough. Chez Bananas, really one of the only ones. Chez and Quickly Die holding on through that entire thing, and that should be enough for the USA to maintain this lead. And there goes Sooyoung and Quickly Die. Boy, Quickly Die is having a rough go of things here. There's a lot of breaks, though. So I guess I can't really fault him too much, but this is going to be a good pick for the United States here. Maybe a 290, 300,000 point victory on this point. It's going to be tied up at 1-1 after this. Everybody looked a bit shaky on that pick, but the USA did manage to prevail. And it did end up being a 296,000 point victory. I was pretty close. I'll give myself credit for that one. Leftovers with the top score for the United States, 697K. Korkosaki with the 750K somehow. Score in the lobby. Best accuracy in the lobby. Second best, actually. No, excuse me. Gotta respect Miles's AC there. 50 combo lower than Leftovers, but only 20k AC behind him, or 20k score behind him. 3-100s, 150, one miss. Looking like a snack. So, 1-1 after each team's first pick. I would say the United States probably looked a little bit better on South Korea's first pick than South Korea looked on the United States' first pick, but a little bit of a toss-up. So, nothing to really judge by as of yet, and it's going to be South Korea staying in the Nomad pool, going to Nomad 3 as their second pick, which is, of course, Fastest Crash, RLC's Paroxysm, the difficulty. One of the longest maps in the pool, 4 minutes in length, 210 BPM, CS4 AR 9.4. So they're going to go from one 210 BPM map to another 210 BPM map. A little bit difficult stylistically, of course. This one featuring more slider aim, more straightforward in its streams where they come up. Not quite as difficult of aim sections, but there are some similarities, I think, to be found between the picks here. We're going to see some player changes. Kasaki Rem staying in, but Enon Flancel coming back in. I wonder if they just switch out as duos? Sooyoung and Quickly Die go out. Flancel and Enon come back in. Flancel and Enon go out. Quickly Die and Sooyoung come back in. Interesting way of doing things. United States, meanwhile, going to keep Chillier, going to keep Leftovers, but they're going to bring Toki and Leotic in for their first time in this match on map number 3 here. For what really does kind of feel like a cross between like a second Nomad 1 and a tiebreaker type of map, I guess. Kind of be how I would describe it, I guess, maybe. And we'll see how this goes. We saw some really, really good performances on this map in the Singapore versus Argentina match. So, see if we get that again. I think there were 3 or 4 FCs in that match and several 1200 plus combos. Really, really impressive stuff for both of those squads as Leotic breaks early on in the first 200 combo for the USA. This is a Chillier pair Leftovers map. for the United States. I don't know who to relate this to on the South Korea side, but this is one where I think the United States should be pretty strong, but South Korea, having picked it and having looked pretty good on their first couple picks, are probably going to be pretty solid as well. This is a core Kosaki map. Okay. This is a core Kosaki map. We'll go with that. I don't know. This is one of those picks where it's like Nomad 1, you know, it just kind of feels like no matter where you miss, if you break, you're inting. Leftovers and Flancel going to trade breaks. Leotic going to follow it up. Toki and Chili Repair still holding FCs. Chili Repair, in fact, still holding onto an SS. There goes Enon as well. So 2 FCs to 2. Toki and Chili against Core Kosaki and Core Rem. Dude, I swear, man, the Core gang is like actually just out here popping off. Which I assume is just short for Korea anyway, so it's kind of their whole team at that point. Accuracy lead is in favor of the United States, as is the combo, so they are going to take a lead back. See how long Chili Repair can hold on to this SS. This is the type of thing that he's really good at. Everybody holding just fine through these sliders. A couple act drops here and there around the lobby, but really not much to write home about. All these players looking very confident and comfortable on this pick. Chili Repair does finally lose his SS, drops 100. Oh, and drops his FC. He just dropped his FC. His slider broke on nothing. That was a blunder. Chili, how do you miss there, man? That's big, because that's gonna just shove the lead right over to South Korea unless one of the Kosaki and Rem bros finds a break. Oh, and Leftover is gonna break as well for the United States. Okay, I guess this is a Korea map. I don't know. Kosaki and Rem still holding the FCs, and Enon and Flancel on nearly matching combos at 670, 650. Flancel not having a great time with his accuracy, but it's just not going to matter because that's such a big combo lead for South Korea. They have to 3-miss. Okay, well, Flancel and Enon did both break, but Kosaki and Rem still holding the FCs, so it just doesn't matter. As long as they keep the FCs up, they'll be fine. That being said... Oh. Well, I was going to talk about how Leotic and Toki had combos, but then Leotic just kind of broke, so I guess I can't talk about that, and Flancel didn't even break anyway. 1600 combo is, that's going to bring this one home for South Korea. Toki doing what he can, still maintaining the FC for the United States, but it just doesn't matter because the other side has a double FC and a 1000 combo behind them. Gotta think this is a little bit of an underperformance from the United States. I would expect more out of really all 3 of the members that aren't Toki, but very strong play from South Korea. Rem and Kosaki look like they're gonna, well, not quite bring home the double FC. They're not gonna bring home any FCs at all, as they both break in the last 100 combo. But they do bring home a very strong performance, just under 3 million score in total for South Korea, and a big win there, 400,000 points. Rem with the FC, so he didn't actually break at the end. Thank you, Bancho. Chili Repair, just stacking up the stat column. 100, 150, 1 miss, 1 Kato. Chili Repair is actually currently malding in voice chat. Leftovers probably too. As good as their United States accuracy was, just like not much you can do when the other team has that big of a combo lead. Is going to be the 2-1 lead now for South Korea. United States going to quickly pick double time. Number 2. So that will be Darkish. Light Insane difficulty. 247 BPM bursty stream map. This is one of the picks that's been the most popular out of this pool. Seen a lot of this one. DT pools in general, I feel like, have been pretty popular in this tournament so far. This is the it depends on you the type of player you are. This can be a cheese map, or this can be like a combo map, or this could be like just actually like a map you can play. You know, you see people comboing with like 92% accuracy sometimes. We also see people who can FC this with 98. So really, it just depends on your particular speed. So you know, we'll see. I think this is really winnable for either team. I don't know how good South Korea's speed is. I think the United States pretty solid on this type of stuff. They did make sure to build their roster with adequate speed in it. Guys like Toki and Spev. With this being their pick, I would expect them to do pretty well on this. You gotta have a couple FCs, I think, to win on this one. If you're really wanting to compete, you gotta probably look at like 3.5 million points, because a lot of people are FCing this regardless of accuracy. You know, it's at least putting, you know, 1 million points on the board. And hopefully we don't get the lovely DT slideshow effect. And where is Dine when you need him? He should have been on the roster just for this pick. Let's be real here. Liak drops from Flancel once again. Not a great ACK player, it seems, but good combo player, so that's what will be important here. This one's long enough that combos can actually build up. I mean, despite the type of map it is still almost 3 minutes long. So it's speed, but it's also stamina over the course of the map. It really doesn't let up all that much. A lot of these bursts and triples spread out really throughout the entire map. But, currently, all 8 players holding onto their combo through the first Ki here, and just the accuracy setting the United States apart by 100,000 points. If you look, 93% from Flancel, 96% from Enon. That being said, Quickly Die, actually a speed gamer, 99.17% ACK. Slightly ahead of Leotic. Spev though, by the way, we talk about Spev and his accuracy currently. 99.8. Leotic at 99.18. So I'd say it's gonna be feeling okay so far. Got a 150,000 point advantage just from accuracy. But at the end of the day, Osu is gonna end up being a combo game. So you just kind of have to hope for the best that you don't break somewhere silly while the opponents hold, even if they do have really bad accuracy. And there goes Quickly Die, the best ACK FC gone for South Korea. That'll be good for the United States. Help out their cause quite a bit. But Chili Repair is going to find a break right thereafter, and Leotic is going to follow. That's dangerous territory here for the United States. There is plenty of time left. South Korea with a couple of A-rank FCs on the board with Enon and Flancel. It's kind of helping the United States because their accuracy is so much better. They may be able to win just on accuracy, even if they only have a couple FCs. Flancel with what looks like a break will help the United States get back on the right track here on this pick. Enon and Korkosaki still holding on the FCs, but accuracy obviously playing a big factor in this score. And with Toki and Spev holding on to the FCs for the United States, they will be in a comfortable position, I believe, going into the last section of the map. Just the ending here to play out. And the United States do win. And yeah, what did we say? You know, 3.5 million is about the minimum you gotta get, and 3.776 for the United States to 3.446 for South Korea. So that was the score to look for. So many people having a good time with this map. Spev with 99.29 ACK FC. That's one of the best plays we've seen on this in terms of accuracy so far. Leotic 98.75, Toki 98.2. Very strong performance from the United States. US looking good on the speed pick. We'll see if they keep that in mind. Maybe run it with Gate of Steiner as their next pick if they go back into the DT pool. After that play, you definitely see them wanting to stay in the DT pool. I don't think it would be Sanagi because that's such a different kind of map, but Gate of Steiner, you know, 210 BPM, more stream than burst at 37 BPM lower, nice, than Darkish, but that might be something the United States will look at going forward. But first, we do, of course, have the next pick from South Korea, tied 2-2, 4 picks going to the team that selected them, or hold and serve, as it were. See what South Korea goes with next. And they had Think Alone, they had Fastest Crash. Now they're going for something completely different. Okay. I don't know that I expected this particular pick. It's going to be Amnolis, Cubs Shattered Memory Extra, Nomad 6, the third pick here for South Korea. So opting into a more gimmicky, kind of real, like, not hard tech, but again, you know, kind of a slider aim. An awkward rhythm map. This will be a little different than the last few picks we've seen. In one being, you know, kind of the aim consistency, Nomad 3 being an all-around consistency, DT2 being more of a speed. Now we're gonna go for a lower BPM. It's 180 BPM. We're focused around that slider aim and how proficient you are with the strange rhythms. This is going to be, looks like, quite different in terms of rosters. South Korea keeping Kosaki, Rem, and Flancel. And Kosaki and Rem just play everything, I guess? United States, meanwhile, only Spev's still in the lobby, and I don't know if this is the type of thing that he plays anyway. I would think this would be maybe something like Miles, Ches. If Vector's here, does Vector play this? Maybe Leftovers, if Leftovers is here. There's some skill sets that I'm not as certain on what the United States plays who for. But this really does come down to who hits, you know, that kind of intro, because it gets a lot easier from there. The first section of this map is the hardest. I guess players having some Bancho issues, so they take a little extra time to get into the lobby. It is going to be Vector, Miles, and Leftovers. Hey! All right, I don't know the team, and I still got it. And it looks like Sooyoung going to join in for South Korea as their fourth. It appears that we will have Vector, Miles, Leftovers, and Spev for USA. Sooyoung, Flancel, Core Kosaki, Core Rem for South Korea. Really building around that Core Kosaki, that core of Core Kosaki and Core Rem. No Lee Yoon Hyuk, no Pain, but the other 6 players playing a lot of stuff. And the map is still on DT. Apparently, the ref is literally inting. All right, well, I didn't end up having to join to abort, but I did just in case. Leo is actually running it down mid. I don't know what's going on with him tonight. Having more problems. I think we're good now, though. Because as it turns out, this is not actually a 10.3 pick. Just in case anybody was wondering, this is not a 10.3 map. This is, in fact, a Nomad pick. We're going to try this again without the ref literally, like, just putting on his track shoes and sprinting it down mid. Get through this little quiet intro, and then things escalate quickly. This looks so deceptively much easier than it is. Some of these patterns are just not fun. Boy, and both teams hitting the entire intro, it looks like. It's seen a couple breaks on that section. Most of the time it's been played. It's gonna be a break from Flancel and Spev. Traded misses. Oh my goodness, there goes Kosaki, Rem, and Miles. Wowzers. And there goes Vector as well. It is Leftovers versus Suyong in a 1v1 for the ages. Oh, okay. Apparently Brazil's like the only team in the tournament that can play this map, I guess. And there goes Leftovers as well. Oh, Corem dying again. Man, literally just everyone is running it. Oh my God. We'll see. Not a lot of combo really anywhere. It's pretty even between the teams. You've got Kosaki 250, Flancel 300. Meanwhile, Spev 270, Miles 280. Suyong and Vector about even. Leftovers and Rem about even. So United States can keep the advantage, but Miles finds a break. There's not a lot of time left. This is a very short map. Maybe a quarter left here at the end, but that could be enough for South Korea to look into a comeback here. I just don't know if there's enough time. If anyone breaks from that roster, it's going to be lights out, and I think the United States has this one in the bag. The accuracy difference is too huge. Just that combo that they built up should be enough. It's going to be ending up a little closer than they would like it at the end, but United States does hang on by a 90,000 point margin. That intro combo from Leftovers, I think, just did it. And the fact that he got 99% accuracy. The United States just huge active. I mean, that is basically the difference maker here. The best accuracy for South Korea, 96.82. Meanwhile, the United States had all four members at 97.7 or above. That was really key. So despite Flancel's pretty strong combo, he only finished 5K ahead of Leftovers. And then just kind of on down from there. United States going ACK mode. It's not every day that ACK proves to be a difference maker, but it was in this match on that map. And that is the United States taking the first break point of the match and a 3-2 lead into their third pick. Look to consolidate this break. That's a good time for it. See if they can go ahead 4-2. Checking my internet there for a sec because I typed something in Discord and it didn't send, so I was a little concerned, but just Discord being Discord. United States taking their time on this pick. I might actually just run out the timer here if they're not careful. And okay, so they are gonna do what I said. They're gonna pick Gate of Steiner. Somebody on the United States is listening to the stream, right? This pick makes a lot of sense. DT3, the 210 BPM DT stream map. After how good they looked on Darkish, I fully expected this pick, really. And I'm sure it just made perfect logical sense to them as well. Looks like Chili Repair gonna join in on Team South Korea. All right, so Leotic, Toki, Leftovers, and Spev. Leftovers replacing Chili Repair from the previous DT play. Enon, Flancel, Kosaki, and Quickly Die for South Korea. I believe this will be the first map that, nope, the second map, excuse me, that Rem doesn't play, so he does not appear to be in for DTs, perhaps. He did not play on Darkish either. This does appear to be the South Korea DT roster. United States, pretty similar, as I said. Spev, Toki, Leotic, kind of the core 3 for DT, and then leftovers coming in on this one. Probably a little more comfortable with this particular map. And this is one pretty tricky, actually. I mean, you can actually misaim some of these sections that aren't the streams, but anywhere that you miss other than the streams is kind of inting. Mostly though, players, if they're gonna miss, do break on the streams or sometimes on the kick slider stream pattern things. I mean, they're single tappable kick sliders, but they're just awkward enough that I've seen some breaks on those as well. Also, a lot of slider end drops, like these guys here. Awkward aim on that stream, but everybody makes it through okay. Toki down at 92% accuracy. South Korea in the lead, thanks to Toki and leftovers really struggling with accuracy despite holding the FCs. That can change in a very quick hurry, though, if anybody misses on any of the streams anywhere. Wow, Flancel just dropped every bit of AC he had. As that's that kick slider section, man. You could just die if you're not careful. You fall a little bit off rhythm and you're gone. Flancel really just not an AC player. Very good combo gamer, it seems, but not good with the accuracy. United States still with the 4 FCs intact. And there goes Kosaki. With Flancel having missed already, I think this one actually might just be over. United States is going to have a huge lead, and it's coming into the ending already. So this is going to be a consolidated breakpoint and possibly a 4-way full combo here for the USA. See if they can finish it off. This last long stream is pretty tricky, and they do. That is a play for the United States. 4-way full combo for Leotic, Toki, leftovers, and Spev. Toki finishing out with the A rank FC, but it is a 4-way for USA. 4 million points and then some. 4.155. That, I believe, is going to be the best score on any map in this round for any team thus far. Correct me if I'm wrong, because there are matches I haven't seen, obviously. If somebody 4-wayed Darkish, I can see it being a higher score, but I have not seen that happen as yet. South Korea with 2 FCs on Enon, or no, just the 1 FC, excuse me, on Quickly Die. Enon finishing with the S rank. Breaking near the end with relatively decent accuracy. But Kosaki and Flancel just not having the greatest time. And that is a consolidated break point. That is United States going up 4-2. And they are now in control of this match. They control their own destiny at this point. Just have to win their own picks and they will win the match. South Korea, though, of course, would like to have something to say about that. And we'll see what they decide to do here. If they want to stay in the Nomad pool some more, all 3 of their picks so far have been Nomads. Or if it's going to now be time to branch out a little bit. I don't think you pick Nomad 1 here against the USA. They could go Gokuraku Jodo and get the VOD muted. That would be cool. I don't think you pick Boost Hound. I don't think you pick Proud Dust. I don't know that anybody really picks Grenade. I don't know the South Korea team in terms of kind of their niche skill sets. So I don't know if they would want to go into either a low AR hidden or a CS 6.5 or something. So that's going to be on them to enlighten me through their pick here. But they are going to pick Nomad 1. So that is the selection for South Korea. Let's excitement. Days. Oh, just give it to them, man. And it was 3 seconds. I would just give that to them, Leo, if you're listening. It was like literally 3 seconds. Yeah, thank you. Like, within 3 seconds, you can reasonably assume that to be Bancho. Leo's a Nomad 1 hater. I'm not the biggest Nomad 1 fan myself, but I'm also not really keen to take away picks when it's that close. Like, if it's a routine matter where they're taking, over the timer every time, yeah, I'll start taking picks away. But, like, if it's one time and it's within 5 seconds, I'm not gonna freak out about it on people. It's not the way I've ever refed or hosted. Try to have the players in mind. So with that being said, Nomad 1 here. Jin featuring Maria from Garnadelia. Days lets excitement the difficulty. As the 4th pick here from South Korea. 6.62 star, just under 4 minute long. Nomad 1 pick. And, you know, it's AIM. Like, it's AIM. It's the Nomad 1 pick. You know exactly what you're getting into here. Also, the fact that most people have seen this at least once in previous tournaments. I feel like the United States has a really good AIM roster. South Korea seems, based on the maps they've played so far, to be pretty good at AIM as well. All right, my my OCD is gonna come into effect here. Core Rem and Core Kosaki have been next to each other in those bottom 2 right slots on every map so far that they've both played, and this one they're not. It's gonna bother me because I'm just used to looking at them next to each other. Oh, this is so sad. Seem to be in slots 7 and 8, man. So, you know, I kind of touched on briefly, you know, the idea with Nomad 1 where, like, if you break it, just kind of feels bad. It's just the nature of Nomad 1. So just the early break so far from Rem. Gonna give the United States a little bit of an advantage into this first Ki. Miles gonna break in this first Ki though, so combo advantage into the hands of South Korea actually. And there's a break from Toki as well. Like, it's Nomad 1, there's just places you can and cannot miss. And on this one, it almost feels like there's really nowhere you can miss because there's not like one diff spike that's, I think, grossly harder than the rest. That's gonna be lead in favor of South Korea. Plenty of map left to go though, only a third of the way in. But it is a 3-way full combo against 2 now from the United States, and Rem with a combo lead over both Toki and Miles. See if anybody breaks again going into the second chorus here. And they don't, so South Korea gonna hold on to their advantage for a while longer, all maintaining really good accuracy this time. And the combo's all intact. Chillier pair with the only SS on the board. But United States handicapped pretty severely by the 2 misses. Somebody's got to break somewhere again. It's Chillier pair though. That's not what the United States wanted one little bit. That is a mistake that he made. South Korea is going to capitalize on it, still holding on to the 3 FCs, and Core M with the big combo behind them. I think this is actually over. Unless South Korea 4 misses, like right here, this is over. It's probably over anyway because of Miles' miss. Yeah, this is over. Good job, South Korea. Y'all coin flip Nomad 1 and you emerge victorious. Proud of you. This is the kind of problem I have with Nomad 1 in general. It just feels like literally a coin flip. Who doesn't miss somewhere stupid? That's Nomad 1 in a nutshell. But very good accuracy from South Korea. 1x100 on Quickly Die. There's a couple more 100s on Inan and Core Kosaki. Very good stuff from their team. Kosaki does find a break, so it will not be the 3-way FC. But looks like possibly still a 2-way, at least from Quickly Die and Inan. Quickly Die, I believe, is going to put up the best score we'll have seen on this map as long as he maintains the FC. 1x100. is nothing to scoff at, as long as he hits the ending. Yeah, that's a play from Quickly Die right there. That was really, really good. One X 100, 99.94% accuracy. Yep, that's pretty good. Meanwhile, Chillier, 1x 100, 1x miss. Not the greatest of time for the United States. I think, I don't know, United States teams just always feel bad at No Mod 1 maps. I don't know why. They just, like, they lean into other skill sets, I guess, more than they lean into aim. Four to 3 lead here for the United States, but match is pretty balanced here. I mean, you have the one break point, but anything can happen. I mean, one pick and it's tied. 4 to 4 becomes a little bit of a scary spot. We'll see what the next pick ends up being here, though, for the USA. This one's going to be careful. I don't think it's DT1. I mean, I think Hidden 2 might be a decent option. We know they have Vector. I could see them opting into the AR8 Hidden or the CS5 AR8 free mod potentially. Or if they wanted to go the completely opposite direction, they could go a CS6x5. But it is going to be Hidden 2. So the fourth pick for USA is Boozehound, another diff, 5.27 stars, 2 minutes and 34 seconds of CS4 AR8 Hidden, mapped by Lucent. One of those low AR Hiddens that requires some aim, obviously requires reading, a little bit of finger control as well. And not the most comfy of aim patterns either. Lucent being Lucent. And this is going to be Leftovers Vector. But I don't know who the other two are going to be having. It looks like Ches is staying in. It's Toki. Alright, I was not sure who the other... Nope, maybe not Toki. I'm genuinely like not sure who the other USA low AR Hidden player is. South Korea looking set already here with Inon, Suyang, Korkosaki, and Quickly Die. So I guess Leon Hyuk and Pain just don't exist today. The Chillier pair, it looks like, coming in for USA. I think that's kind of a fill slot. I don't know that they have like another really dedicated AR8 Hidden. So it's just whoever wanted to be in for this particular play. Maybe Leotic coming in. Just can't decide. Where is Konyo, the world's ultimate fill player? It's actually Konyo coming in on Leotic's account. He's gonna come into the lobby and he's gonna talk about how he has to pee, and that's how we'll know it's really Leotic. But it secretly won't be. It'll actually be Konyo. Alright, looks like we're set. Leftovers Vector, Leotic, and Ches against Inon, Suyang, Kosaki, and Quickly Die. This one, 4 to 3, man. It's getting onward in this match. There's only going to be one more pick per team. So, this was a little important here. This is one where I think we're mostly going to be watching a little bit of Vector here, though he's dropping a lot of ACK early on. According to everyone, the like best low AR Hidden player in the world, you would think. But Leotic is going to find an early break. Leftovers also looking pretty strong on this one early on. But South Korea takes the early advantage. Korkosaki, Quickly Die. with solid accuracy. Enon and Suyong holding onto the FCs. Everybody looks pretty strong on this so far through the first 270 combo. Got 7 FCs still out there. Leftovers still with the SS. Korea just going to maintain this advantage. Yeah, there goes Korkosaki, though. Oh, but Leotic falling straight after. I think that's worse for South Korea than the United States. But the score is still going to flicker. There's really no combo difference between the teams. The United States should have a small AC lead, but it's going to be so back and forth. Oh, there goes Quickly Die on the aim section. Those are some awkward aim patterns, but Leftovers breaks as well. So no advantage to be gained for the United States here. Vector, Ches Bananas with the FCs, as well as Enon and Suyong. Halfway through, the United States does have a 66,000 score lead. Leotic basically tied with Korkosaki, actually behind in score, but Leftovers ahead of the others. This is going to be very tight here. Ches and Vector absolutely have to hold on as long as Enon and Suyong do. Another break from Korkosaki. United States still not finding any breathing room, though. Leotic finding another break as well. Maybe not supposed to be, but there's a break from Vector. That's huge. That's going to give the advantage back to South Korea. That's a combo advantage. That is an FC advantage. Doesn't matter what Korkosaki and Quickly Die do unless they completely fall apart. If Enon and Suyong can hold on to their full combos, they should be able to bring this back. I just don't know if there's enough time. It's going to be very, very close in these last moments. The score gap is going to come down. It is coming down, but is it coming down quickly enough? It's at 50K, it's at 40K, 30K, 20K. This might come all the way back for South Korea. The double FC from Enon and Suyong is about to do it, and it does it! The last seconds, it flips over. South Korea takes the point by 9,000 points, and they tie the match up at 4 apiece. The double FC from Enon and Suyong just does it for South Korea. Nothing else mattered in that entire lobby. Once Vector broke, it was just a matter of those two holding on to the end of the map, and they did exactly that. And now South Korea has tied this up 4-4. There is one pick left per team, and that has to feel really rough for the United States. A pick that they had to imagine was going to be in their favor. South Korea steals it away, ties the match up, and we are as dead even as you can possibly be. So South Korea now has their last pick. And there are some interesting options left. I don't know what they feel like they're going to do well on. They have Gokuraku Jodo as the only pick left in the Nomad pool. All 4 of their picks thus far have been Nomads. That is the only Nomad remaining, though. They have Hard Rock 1, Hard Rock 2, Grenade, and Proud Dust. I don't know that they opt into either of those. Grenade is arguably the most difficult map in this pool by a pretty good margin, and it is one that feels probably very intable for a lot of teams. Proud Dust is a CS 6.5, and it's just going to be Nomad 4. So now the VOD's going to get muted, which is cool. But South Korea, all 5 picks coming from the Nomad pool. They go Think Alone, they go Fastest Crash, they go Amnaliz, they go Daze, and then lastly, they are going to go Gokuraku Jodo. Just picking the whole Nomad pool here, and it's working out for them today. 3 minutes and 32 seconds. 131 BPM, but it is mapped as like the half BPM style, so it is quite a bit faster than that in practice. CS 3.5, Air 9.5, mapped by Vert. This is a pretty tricky pick. There are places that are easy to miss on. There's some sliders that you can break on. There are some awkward spaced patterns that you can break on. There are some aim patterns that you can break on. This is a hit or miss type of map. And it makes me wish I had, like, if I turned down the volume, do you think that the VOD would still get muted? I don't know. I don't want to mute it. I would have to have like an alternate audio version, which sucks. The song is so good, but it's very frustrating the way Japanese audio companies take copyright. Like, United States companies, they just want to monetize your video for them. Like, they'll put ads on it and shit and just take the money. Japanese videos are like, no one in the world can watch this. You are not allowed to watch this video that has this song in it anywhere on the globe. Like, it's so weird. They don't want the money, they just don't want it. They don't want it to exist in the world. What's interesting is that I don't think it happens with Nomad 1, which is a Gardadelia map as well, or song as well. It's very strange. And we are going to get underway here. Oh, we're going to get underway in a second. That glitch there from Korkosaki, so hopefully that'll fix itself. It's going to be leftovers. Miles, Chillier Pair, Ches Bananas against Enon, Flancel, Kosaki, and Rem. The duo back at it. Watch out for them. They have been on point tonight for the Korean side. The United States has definitely suffered some underperformance in this match so far. If there was ever a time for them to kind of figure things out, it would be right now to take a 5-4 lead and try to close this match out in their own pick. But South Korea, man, they're not going away in this match by any means. Falling behind that break point halfway through, they went ahead and just got it back a couple picks later. This is, as we said, their last pick. Just the early break from Enon, but this is a pretty lengthy map, as we know. It's 3.5 minutes, so one break in the first 70 combo is not going to have an effect on the outcome at all. And it's one of those type of picks where you have to stay consistent with the verses. You have to try to hit the key eyes, and then there's those couple of little difficult patterns that are trickier than the rest. Big space pattern near the ending, for instance. Flancel did find a break for South Korea, so they are down to 2 FCs, one of which, one big combo. I mean, you know, Enon is not that far behind. United States, though, for now, still holding on to the 4 FCs, and they need to do that. This is where the USA just needs to be mentally locked back into things after suffering that break point on the last pick. South Korea, with a little bit of the momentum in their favor after winning the last 2 points, we'll see if that helps them out here, trying to get back into the swing of things after a couple of early breaks on this pick. The first break in the song, they'll see it's United States up by 140k. A lot of map left to go, though. We're about halfway through, which, as we all know, is the absolute worst place in any map to break. Gotta keep that consistency intact. Gotta keep your cursor under control. Players doing so thus far. Into the second key eye we're gonna go. Somebody somewhere will probably find a miss. Like, it's just the most likely outcome. The question is, who is going to miss and where is it going to be? A lot of combo built up. Flancel a couple hundred combo behind the FCs. Enon less than 100 combo behind. You know, his score not that far back, only about 50k. United States 240,000 point advantage. Not enough to be safe yet. There's Ches Bananas breaking on those couple little triples. That's the easy place to break before you get into the little finger control. And here comes this spaced pattern. Oh, and Chillier Pair breaks as well. Who's gonna hit this pattern right about here after the end of this section? Miles and Leftovers absolutely have to hold on for the United States, but South Korea is gonna bring it back in this section as long as Rem, Kosaki, Enon all holding combo. Here we go. The longer spaced out pattern, everybody hits it. That means South Korea is firmly in the driver's seat. The score is going to go back over to them. They are almost guaranteed to take this point. Now, Ches Bananas Leftovers breaking. That's it. What is happening to the United States tonight? They're absolutely choking, and South Korea is playing with so much confidence, holding on to all of their combos in the most important moments of every map, while the United States just crumbles. South Korea is just showing the fortitude here, and they are going to be rewarded with a 5-4 lead and a match point on the United States' last pick of the match. Excuse me. Oh my. Oh my. That went the wrong way in a hurry for the United States. South Korea went from a 200,000 point deficit to winning it by almost 600K. And now the United States is 1 point away from dropping to the loser's bracket at the hands of South Korea. This is the last pick of the match. The United States wins it, we go to a tiebreaker. South Korea wins it, they win the whole thing. What did I say, man? The Rem Kosaki duo just FC everything. It's insane how well those two have played this entire match. All right, so now, whew, boy, United States. You have Grenade and Proud Dust. Hard Rock 1, Hard Rock 2. You have Sanagi DT1. I don't think you do that. I don't think you do Tokyo Starlight Free Mod 1. I think that's too much of a coin flip. I don't know what feels comfortable at this point in the match, to be honest. There is not a lot left that I would want as a last pick if I were anybody playing in this match. It might just be a DT, but I don't know. You know, United States did win Darkish and Gate of Steiner, so maybe Sanagi feels like the option. That would give us the nice PowerPoint stream for the last map to be picked by the teams. You know, and this, yep, it is Sanagi. I was gonna say this reminds me of last year, where United States dropped 6-4 at the hands of Russia in the quarterfinals there as well. I believe it was. Take a look back at that and see. Yeah, they lost 6-4 to Russia in quarterfinals last year. They got the losers bracket buff, went on to win the whole thing, and a bracket reset grand finals against the United Kingdom. So maybe history repeating itself here. USA in quarterfinals, name a less iconic duo, I guess. I'll wait. First things first, we gotta play DT number 1. It's the longest DT, second longest DT pick, 2 minutes 52 seconds long, 240 BPM. Got some aim, got some speed, and with the match on the line, this is a risky business sort of pick. It relies on you being consistent, and it relies on somebody on your team hopefully hitting the squares, because those square jumps really just make or break the outcome of this map. Looks like we are set. So it is Leftovers Leotic, Chillier Pair Toki for the United States. Lee Eun-hyuk coming in for the first time for South Korea, joining Flancel, Korkosaki, and Quickly Die. South Korea looking for another breakpoint to see if they can close out the match. United States needs this pick to take it to a tiebreaker. Would be the first tiebreaker of this round. This is mildly important, to say the least. I do think this is a map that the United States should be very good at. Do not get me wrong by any means on that. But this is just such a tough spot to be in, picking regardless of what you go with at this juncture. You know, it's the benefit, it's the pro and the con of being the last pick before a tiebreaker. You do get your choice to try to send it to a tiebreaker or to try to close it out, but you have to make a choice to try to send it to a tiebreaker or to try to close it out. Like, it's a lot of pressure. But so far in this one, the United States up to the task. Small advantage thanks to the early break from Lee Eun-hyuk. And we are gonna get a little bit of slideshow client. DT just, I don't know, it's some particular DT maps, and I'm not really sure what causes it. Because obviously it didn't happen on the other 2 DT maps we watched, but this one seems to struggle, and I don't know why. I don't know, does this map have a like a storyboard or anything? Maybe this map has a storyboard. I know that can cause it as well. Ah, yep, this has a storyboard. Okay, that explains it. Remind me, I'll have to delete the storyboard. Anyway, leftovers with a break. So it is now combo advantage in favor of South Korea. It might actually come down to the squares. This is so tense here for everyone. Quickly Die does find a break for South Korea. That's good for the United States. Oh, okay, who missed the squares? Leotic, Chilier, Pair, Toki, Lee Hyuk, and Korkosaki all missed on the squares. Flancel missed directly after the squares. He hit them, and then he broke. He had the opportunity right there. The match was on his tablet, and he broke right after, despite hitting the squares. That is almost an entire reset, and that does favor the United States, but it is still not even a 50,000 point difference between the teams. Leftovers with the biggest combo, 285 combo, a quarter of the map to go into the last Ki, trying to take this to a tiebreaker for the United States. Can Leftovers carry it? Korkosaki does find a break. That's going to give the United States just a little bit of breathing room, just the tiniest bit of breathing room. Oh, but there go Leotic and Chilier pair as well as Flancel. This is going to be so close, but I think Leftovers' combo should be able to carry the United States here on this one. It should be able to bring the USA home and take it to a tiebreaker to decide the outcome of the match. It's going to be very close, but the United States does have enough of a lead now, thanks to Leftovers. The carry for this map for the USA, he is going to make sure that they take it to a TB. And that was scary close for all involved, but that is the United States victorious on that point on Tsunagi. Their last pick did work out for them, and they will send it to a tiebreaker against South Korea to decide our third semifinalist. It is going to be Angryfer, matched by Quiet Aim Suck as Fuck. Very auspicious, that. 6.55 star, 220 BPM, almost 7-minute long tiebreaker here. Angryfer, Inanity Wrath, the diff name. Players will feel the wrath of the mapper. Going into tiebreak here. Now the big question, of course, who do you put in? Both teams. You find your strongest players on this type of map and you put them in. I mean, it sounds simple, but it is so difficult. Who do do you put the players who are comfortable most with the 220 BPM? Do you put in the players who are most comfortable with the consistency and the length? Do you put in the players who have the best mental, who are the most steady, least likely to shake and succumb to the pressure of the moment? It is so tough to be in this position and try to decide on a roster for a tiebreaker like this. You know, I feel like it's a little higher BPM than Core Rem might be happy with, which is big because South Korea has relied on Kosaki and Rem on a lot of these picks to get them through. Meanwhile, the United States has been advantaged on pretty much all of the speed picks, and with this being a 220 BPM map that has plenty of streams in it, it does seem to favor them just a bit on paper. But you just can't be sure. You know, you won't be able to be sure until 7 minutes from now. So 6 UTC. This is our favorite time. The 6 UTC freaking tiebreakers. It's the best, guys. It's the best. 6 AM UTC tiebreakers are my favorite. And I think we're set. We have Ches, Bananas, Spev, Chilier Pair, and Toki for the USA. Lee Hyuk, which is an interesting pick here for South Korea. He did not play very many maps in this match. Inon, Core Kosaki, and Quickly Die on the South Korea side. It is Angry Fur. It is the tiebreaker. It is time to find out who's going to win this match. This is so huge. Heroes will be made. Legends will be remembered. Who's going to be the carry for these teams? It is a long one. 7 minutes of map. I mean, this just is a lengthy pick. Every last bit of combo could matter. So glad that we get to see at least one tiebreaker this round. It's always a thrilling moment, and this match has been full of those already. As I said, you know, it just comes down who is the most consistent, who can keep their combo, who can keep their nerve and their stamina. It's the mental and the physical game of Osu really coming into play here. 11 maps in, an hour and a half of playtime, and you're faced with a 220 BPM, 7-minute long tiebreaker that just calls in every aspect of your skill set. Through the intro we go. Just one very early break from Kosaki, giving the United States a tiny early lead, but it will not mean much. As I said, though, I think, on paper, there is a small advantage for the United States, but the way these teams have been playing in this match, I do not want to predict a winner, because this could go any which way. Combos are going to build and build and build, and they're not even at 100k yet. Just gives you an idea of how long this map is and how much combo there is in it. Everyone holding so steady thus far. Kosaki with some relatively low act, down at 96%. Most everyone else at 98. Chili Repair up over 99%. Just a couple hundreds for him so far. It always scares me when Chili Repair does that, though. The better his accuracy, the more likely he's going to miss on something silly, it feels like. Into the first chorus here. Combo's up, approaching 1,000 already. We are yet to see a real break. Kosaki just playing the combo game here, dropping all kinds of 100s. Chesbanez and Leon Q gonna trade misses. Not gonna really affect much about the scoreline, with those being at the exact same moment. But the first chinks in the armor have shown. Anybody just gonna suffer a complete breakdown, though? You know, you expect to see maybe like somebody falling off of a stream and kind of a chain miss or something, but nobody doing so as of yet. Oh, it's a break from Spev. No break in response from South Korea. That will give the lead back over here in a moment's time. There's Spev having a bit of trouble. So it is now gonna come to Chili Repair and Toki. But it's 3 FCs for South Korea. Inon, or 2 FCs on Inon and Quickly Die, and an UFC on Kosaki. Leon with another break. That's not going to be that damaging to South Korea, though. It's just not going to hurt them that much as long as the other 3 keep up their combo. Up over 1450, 1500 combo. Leon breaking once again. Spev, though, missing as well. Not having a great time here for the United States. God, Inon, Quickly Die, and Kosaki all holding on to so much combo. Toki and Chili Repair matching, but just the advantage still in the side of South Korea. And there goes Chesbanana's combo. There's no backing combo for the United States, but there goes Core Kosaki. The first major break for South Korea in quite some time. 2 FCs now to 2. Inon, Quickly Die in a 2v2 situation here against Chili and Toki. Score gap staying pretty close here. There goes Kosaki again, but Spev continuing to have some trouble. Leon is building up some combo behind him. Oh, and there goes Toki. He broke on almost nothing. Oh, that is tragic for the United States as Spev continues to miss over and over. Inon and Quickly Die are both going to go over 2,000 combo. No, Quickly Die does find a break. Chili Repair versus Inon, the only 2 FCs still alive, but there is way more backing combo for South Korea now. And it's going to be about a 50,000 point lead for South Korea. How long can Inan hold? How long can Chillier hold? And how big can this combo for Lee Yoon get behind them? Oh, and there it goes for Lee Yoon. That's going to give a little bit of an advantage for the United States. They do have the backing combo advantage now. Ches Bananas with 500 plus combos, Spev with 300, Chillier and Inan both at almost 2,300 combo. Is either of them going to miss? They're both at 550k score. These combos are just getting so huge, it's terrifying, and the score gap is only 15,000 points between the two teams. We're like 6 minutes into a 7-minute long map, and it is this close. The United States just needs to hold on to these backing combos for a bit longer to try and pull this back. They're inching away at this score gap. Ches Bananas and Spev holding on for all they are worth. Chillier and Inan both still holding the FCs. There is an FC on either team at 2,500 combo. The United States takes the lead back for the first time in about 4 minutes. Can they bring it on home? There is just the ending to come. This is going to be so desperately close, but the backing combo is huge. Ches Bananas, Spev, and Toki all doing everything they can to back up Chillier pair, who finally drops his FC at the very ending. Inan at almost 2,700 combo. Is that going to be enough for South Korea to bring this home? If he holds on, he can become the hero. He can carry this for them. The lead goes back over to South Korea. Kosaki with a big... Oh my god, everyone broke! The United States just full combo reset. South Korea is going to win it. South Korea is going to win it. Inan with the 2,800 combo. FC still alive. Corey Kosaki with nearly 900 combo behind him, and the USA just completely fell apart at the absolute most inopportune time. Inan, this is unbelievable. 3,000 combo. He's gonna look to FC the tiebreaker and carry South Korea past the United States onward into the semifinals. He finally breaks at the very end, but it was more than enough for South Korea here, and they're going to be victorious by nearly 200,000 points, and they're going to win the match 6-5 over the United States. A comeback victory for South Korea past 6 a.m. UTC. Unbelievable. What a fucking play from South Korea. Inan, you are a legend among men. What in the world did we just have the good fortune to witness from South Korea on that tiebreaker? I cannot say enough about what Inan just did and what South Korea just did to pull off this upset over the United States. The 8 seed sending the number 1 seed, the overwhelming favorites I would have thought in this match, down to the losers bracket, and they advance onward into the semifinals. 6-5 on one of the most outrageous tiebreaker performances I have ever seen in my life. That was the match of the tournament. That was the play of the tournament. South Korea, your victors. GG, frickin' well played, South Korea. United States, guys, they're gonna feel like they underperformed. They're gonna feel like they could have done more. But South Korea just put on an amazing performance. From break point down to match point up to the tiebreaker to that play on the tiebreaker map. And now the USA gonna have to repeat their performance from last year, dropping down to losers bracket in the quarterfinals. They'll have to make another run through losers bracket if they want to win and repeat as champions. But South Korea, bravo, bravo. Congratulations on a well-earned win. And we'll be seeing them next week. They'll face off against the winner of the Netherlands versus Russia. That'll be tomorrow. But they get a few days to enjoy that victory because that has got to feel pretty damn good. And that is the end of the day. 2:15 a.m. here for me. The end of the stream. The end of the match. We'll be back in about 8 hours time. It'll be, we'll have Taiwan versus Japan, followed by United Kingdom versus the winner of that match, followed by Brazil versus Indonesia, a few losers bracket matches, Netherlands versus Russia in the last of the quarterfinals, and we'll close out the day with France versus Norway in the last of our losers bracket round 3 potentials. Until then, all I can say is wow. Good game, well played. Congratulations to South Korea. Thank you guys for watching. I've been this one guy, and I will see you guys all in the morning for the next set of matches. Have a great night.